Second panel of the day, important and pretty critical. I would request Dr. Sandeep K. Chakrabarti, Director and Professor of Indian Center for Space Physics. Sir, just hold on. We do up the stage and then kindly take your seat. Mr. Tapan Mishra, Founder Director, CC Radar and former Director of Space Application Center, ISRO. And of course, Mr. Anirudh Lahiri, former President BCCI, President Rising Asia Foundation and convener of the summit. So both these gentlemen, Dr. Chakraborty and Mr. Mishra would be in conversation with Mr. Lahiri, and the session is called Can India be among an exclusive club of nations in the second space race? Dr. Chakraborty, Mr. Mishra, kindly please take your seats. Yeah, he's also coming, sir. Lahiri sir, we have 20 odd minutes for this session, and we'll ring a bell when we have 5 minutes to go. So all yours, sir. Please take it forward.
So, a little more time, Sambit, would have helped me to go up actually into space and come back. But I already feel that I'm all equipped, with my space suit and everything. But nevertheless. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are in an exciting area where all of you want to be sometime or the other, space. And now it's very contemporary because we are, it seems, in a second big race, space race. So it's supposed, the first one, I presume, was the one where it was a competition. That's where the competition started. And that race was all about which country would be the first to land a person on the moon. And so that race, I suppose, is now over. It lost its relevance because the whole purpose of it was to claim the fame for getting the first person on the moon, first human on the moon. So now the race was over, but the research and exploration has continued. For several years, it's still continuing. And I think the first question I have, and I would like to ask you, is any one of you, as to what is this race about? What is this second race about?
Original race, which is actually fallout of the Cold War, basically.
Yes, switch. Yes.
The original space race was the fallout of the Cold War, which was basically to establish strategic dominance and a military dominance, and also the psychological dominance, because these, because one of the most learning from the Cold War was that economic follows your muscle power and your technological muscle and also military muscle. But the second wave, which is coming now it is no longer just a strategic matter of strategic dominance. It can be commercialization possibility there. It can be profitable. It can generate employment. Need not necessarily generate very high quality employment, it can generate a much lower quality employment, and it will be part and parcel of the sustainable development of the nation, and also it will play its also the older role. It will be also the dominant partner of its muscle power of the country. So the space, when itself will generate an economy in the country, it will also help attract other segments of the economy. That's the most important. And I will try to give you the scale. Till today in India's space economy, it's approximately $3 to $4 billion. It is not much, in spite of talking of ISRO and all big things and all. We are actually, in terms of economy, very less. But if you put a purchasing power parity, then it becomes somewhere around $8 billion. But a global economy today is in 2025 is $422 billion. And of this, if government has taken a target of in 10 years to get 8% of this economy, and if you want to see this, it is almost like adding another Indian railway scale of economy to the country. And that's the scale we have to be prepared for it. And I am very hopeful for the steps taken by the government in liberalization of the space policies and encouraging the space startups. Unfortunately, Calcutta has not taken any initiative in this direction. And I am the only loner who is playing here, who actually came all the way from Gujarat to establish the company over here.
No, you were in ISRO, isn't it?
Yeah, I was director of ISRO Space Application Center and also Physical Research Laboratory. And this is an enormous area where there is a potential, and I see the Calcutta being the reason I selected Calcutta is the place because it can become the next or a bigger Bangalore in another 10 years. Because I have seen states growing and I know the government policies. It really doesn't depend upon which political party runs the state government. There is a different dynamics of economic development, so it will come here.
Mr. Before you go deeper into it, because time is a bit limited, so I am aware of the constraint. Now, I heard you talk about the economy twice. The first race had nothing to do with the economy. It had to do with who gets to the moon first, or which country takes the first man on the moon, puts the first man on the moon, right? From there, how do you jump to economic? I mean, where is the connection between economy and the second race?
You see, the first race was a trigger for economy. The first 4-bit computer flew in Apollo program. And from that today, we have all the computer revolutions today. The economic growth which is going to the common people, it came latter part. Or you can see that that amount of the engines which were developed, rocket, which actually led to a lot of military industrial complex.
No, but
But now today it is no longer a trigger. It can become an economy itself.
It can, but there are a number of steps and a lot of journey to be undertaken before you can translate the space exploration phase to one of adding value to the economy, isn't it? It will take time. So there are many steps between.
Yes.
So and secondly, are we talking about Professor Chakraborty? Are we talking about when you say space? Space is unlimited. It's limitless. No. So I wanted to ask you that when we say space, What are we talking about? Are we talking about outer space? Are we talking about exploration of other planets? And does economy come out of a feeling that there is treasure hidden somewhere in space and we've got to go there and start mining? Because we have now, I think humankind has realized that the earth is finite. So it was once upon a time projected as infinite, but it is finite. So having ravaged the planet, now I think it's become a kind of compulsion to see which other planet can we get hold of, or what other things can we get hold of in space which we can plunder. Is that right?
No, first of all, let me tell you that space is, of course, as you said, almost infinity size, the 10 to the power 23 kilometers. And if you see, people have gone maximum 400,000 kilometers up to moon. Okay, so really we have been scratching onto the surface. So that is what human has done. Now, if you consider the Voyager, which is not manned but not crewed, it was launched in 77, and today it has gone up to 1 light day. Now, a distance which is just outside the solar system, around the solar system, only 1 light day. So we have to go 14 billion years in terms of light speed to be able to touch the other side. So
Other side of?
Of the
edge of
universe,
space.
basically side, yes, entire space. So we are, when you say astronaut, means it really moves from star to star, that absolute stupid. Because the nearest star, we will take 70,000 years to go. So let us not talk about that kind of thing. Now, second point is, if we come back to the point, that India was never in any space race. Okay, the first space race was, of course, during the Cold War. And once it has landed on the moon, found that there is not much thorium or not much fissile materials and so on, only mostly sands, the dust. You have seen that last 50 years people did not go back, because it is really, if you check the thing, in fact the formation of the moon theory changed after Apollo landed. Originally thought that moon was formed with Earth, but they found that no, the density of the moon is 3.2 and Earth is 5.6. So then people thought, okay, we will stop and we will rearrange, reorganize and go again. Now, for race, to be in the race, India was never in the race, even now it is not in the race. Race is actually between USA and China. If you consider V2 rockets that Hitler used to throw, our most powerful rocket is only 7 times more than that. Okay, 1.7 let us say 1.7 million Newton thrust. But American, even a private starship, 74 million Newton thrust. So you need 3 things for space. One is thrust. How powerful thing you can send, how fast you can go to the Mars or any other place. So thrust. India is at least 30 to 40 times less than even a private sector starship. Second is money. India is spending 0.05% of the GDP, $1.6 billion. United States is spending, let us say, $44 billion. Okay, 0.3% of the GDP. But when they were sending to the moon, they were spending 4% of the GDP, because that was their strongest priority. Kennedy said, no, we have to go to this century, this decade. So they spent 4% of the GDP for the Apollo mission. Now the last point I want to make is the science part. Even if you send and push somebody there, are you doing science? Now the point remains that even today the technological problem, we are not making our own instruments and mostly assembling the instruments and the chips purchased from outside, unfortunately. So that sector has to be increased, and very much fortunately the private sector is going up very fast. Okay, and there will be market within India, that has to be also there, otherwise...
No, but is that, are you saying, Mr. Chakrabarty, that manufacturing equipment, manufacturing instruments and things like that
No, basic chips.
is
Basic chips.
the end purpose of...
No, basic chips, the point I am trying to say is that unless people have you earn the respectability of that, be self-reliance, of making your own detectors, innovations in making your own detectors, and not just purchase something off the
But they are
shelf.
not an end in it, in themselves.
No,
They're
no, no.
not
But
an end.
first of
It's-
all, you have to make the
It's a
payloads
means towards the end.
means towards the end, and of course it is created
So
job.
what
Let
am
us
I
say-
saying? What I'm asking you, what is the end actually? Can you define very briefly what is the end purpose now as we see it? Is
For
it
Indi-
exploration?
Okay.
Is it for some other purpose? Is it for defense?
No, I'll say very quickly. For space, we go for 4 purposes. One is that you put your satellite and look at the earth, find out the minerals or the earthquake, wherever is taking place, or the flood, etc. Other thing is you go up, but look at the outer space, see how the universe was created, and you discover science. Third is to militarize. Nowadays, just recently it has been added. Fourth and most important is to explore. You just get out and go to the farthest possible corner. So these 4 steps, that is why we go to space. Now, for example, recently India and NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar, there we are actually looking at the earth. So we are using the space science directly into benefiting the mankind. Similarly, James Webb Telescope, almost every day it is discovering such things, that how the universe was created, that theory is changed. But one last sentence. At the same distance, India also sent our Aditya L1 and James Webb is at L2. Same distance, about 15 lakh kilometer away. Look at what James Webb is doing every day and what India is doing. Okay, India, the science that they take, the instruments that it has sent was almost like 1970s what USA has sent. So point I am trying to make is that India has a way to go, but slow and steady, they will win the race.
Not
And-
way to go, but probably light years to go.
Well,
Light days to go.
I would say that, okay.
So
I will-
what do we do until then? Do we sit and just twiddle our thumbs, trying to find out what use we can make of it? Is there in the short term some use? For example, I would like to ask you that Mr. Chakravarti now spoke about thrust. Thrust is related to fuel, because to get the thrust you need to burn more fuel. So the further you go, the more fuel you require. Right. Now, if you want to send a space capsule or probe or whatever it is to any other planet, I'm not talking about the moon, if you want to send to Mars, I think it will not be possible without staging, isn't it? So the moon could become a staging point. Why? Because by the time you reach moon, the need for that kind of fuel is diminished, because you've you've broken the gravity barrier, and therefore from there to travel to some other point in space would probably be space.
No, that's
so
what
maybe
Artemis is doing.
Artemis.
Yeah. That's why the Apollo mission,
Yeah.
Apollo's twin sister, they are the
So is it-
Artemis.
yeah, so-
Artemis mission's job is to actually have the base
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the moon. There will be a space station around the moon so that they can come down and
So
come
is
out.
it therefore for these experimentation, this kind of experimentation, whether staging is possible, even you think that it is possible, we have to put humans there. How will humans operate there on the moon? So I think the point now, I would say that it would be sensible to direct space research towards finding whether moon can be a point to stage, how do you inhabit it, how do you make people stay there, all these things, These are probably the important things. Would you agree?
No, you don't have to stay there. The international, just like International Space Station was a continuously habitation was there for last 25 years. People are going and replacing and coming back. There also Artemis mission, there will be space station around moon to begin with. And then from there they can go to, let us say, Saturn and have a space station around one of its moon and then go forward. But India has not done any crude journey yet. It has not brought back its instrument so far to Earth yet. So India has a long way to go. But I still say that, okay, India has a long way to go. It has not done so far the same things what United States has done in 1960s. Okay, at least 60 years, India is almost 60 years in that respect behind. I would say at least 100 years behind Elon Musk. So it is one thing to say that yes, India will. And how can India will? Because India's youth power. But as you know that the youth is number of youth going, you will have peak in 2036. The number of youth will be about 500 million and then will start going down. China, 2050, only 125 million. So we will have that positive thing provided we train them.
So,
ahead of
ladies and
time.
gentlemen, this is the view of a physicist. So, Mr. Chakravarti, from the point of looking at it from the point of view of physics, science, is actually saying what you heard just now, that it take a lot of time, but they are already in the race and we are far, far behind. We are far behind to be even talking about, to be able to talk about what next. So, do you, Mr. Mishra, do you agree that at this point in time, therefore, it's a bit of a vacuum. We don't know where we are going, what we should do. Should we do a Me Too because somebody has gone there, so follow, and let me also do that? Or do we have something where we can break this, business of following and become instead of being a follower, we become the path finder?
You see, everybody makes a mistake, as if it is taking a man to the space is a great job.
Can't hear.
As if taking a man to the space is a great job. No, it is not. At those days, people could take a man to the great job because people were ready to die. Today, even you do not allow a dog to die. There's a PETA will come and all these issues will come, so things become difficult. And today, we have robots which can do much better job than the human being. Why to spend unnecessary money on that human being? You can take the robots. So this technology has changed. And that's our day-to-day news, day-to-day.
Time is up. Did we get our 20 minutes? All 20, not 19 and a half, you're sure? Okay.
See, the date.
25 minutes.
Space has so much use for day to day.
25 minutes is what you
look
said.
at, this gentleman was talking of the agriculture applications. Today we could not implement the crop insurance. It is a 4 lakh crores rupees market. We simply because we could not implement because we don't have inspectors to go to the crop field to inspect whether the crop has gone bad or not. That is where the satellite. If a car goes bad, you can take it to the service station and then call insurance people. But you cannot bring the crop to some service station and bring. You have inspector has to go to the crop field, and that is where the remote sensing satellites is going to do a big change in the crop insurance. And
Is it the reason why you set up CC radar?
Yes.
See, is remote sensing.
It is basically targeted toward the crop insurance market.
So now you are becoming a mover and not a follower.
Yes, we are one of the best in the world. In Calcutta, we are making
Really?
synthetic aperture radar, which is the best in the world and 10 times better than the world standard.
Sir,
Because I am an authority on this subject, you can see the whole.
very good. Excellent. I see the pride, I see the pride.
And,
Okay.
and you should look at the communication, the television, this whole entertainment, infotainment. In fact, with all this credit given to USA had a cable TV network. CNN is still cable news network. But we had a space satellite.
Small aperture.
No.
Yeah.
You see that even when US was having cable for the news and information distribution, we went for the site program using American satellite. They had a satellite which was waiting for the utilization and we have a utilization which was waiting for a satellite. And we are the first country to introduce space communication SATCOM. And today, an integrating infotainment that with the communication and the information and the entertainment, it is the discovery of Indians. We don't want to give it a credit. We want to give credit to Professor Jaspal leading the SATCOM project. And that led to the total revolution.
Thank you.
Must understand this entertainment industry, it depends on totally the space-based transmission.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, you know, in the interest of time, and there is paucity of time, so I will ask you, each of you, a question. Right? And I want to know your views, you know. That is, that the question is, that in your opinion, and you are a physicist, in your opinion, associated with space application, so in your opinion, should we do more of the same? Go on seeing what others do and then follow them? Use their equipment, whatever, you know, should we do that? Or should we do something to actually lead this race? Are we capable? So the question was, should we be in the second space race? And therefore the question is, are we competent today? Are we, do we not only have the competence, but do we have the wherewithal and the means to be a first mover in the second space race?
No, I already mentioned that we were never in the race, and we have missed the bus. And we don't want to be in the race also, because India has other problems. India is progressing at its own pace without comparing with others. As requirement comes, it sends the item. It is not in the race, but it is satisfied.
It be a follower.
Yes. In fact, and the second part is, if you cannot beat anybody, you join them. So basically, we want to join.
You can lick them, follow them,
yes,
or be with them.
Yeah, if you cannot beat them, join them. And so we are trying to join with USA and Russia, etc. We will not be taken very seriously. No.
Now, the second question, the same question to you.
Sir, adventure sports and category te hoy bungee jumping type.
So, no, we'll have time for that, I suppose, later or sometime or over lunch. So, Mr. Mishra, what is your answer to that question? Should we be now looking at our own and setting our own pace and setting our own and looking at our own means, developing our own means and competence, or should we do what Mr. Chakravarti said?
See, everybody has gone this way, we are going this way. See, everybody has gone this way, go to the exploration part, but we are going into this way. I know that what we need today, extract the maximal benefits of space for our military, for our strength, and for our resource management, our resource exploitations, and our communications and data relay and data management, because today's data is the most important. It is more valuable than the petroleum. And this data management and the data transmission from one place to another, and through the mobile, the information transformation, we may not need towers. Very soon we will not need towers. We will need actually satellite directly.
So I think what Mr. Chakra is saying is that, Mr. is saying is that, look, we can use the time. You don't have to do so concentrating or focusing on who comes first in breasting the tape. But he's saying there are plenty of other things, and you can set your own pace, you can determine what would be the best, and I think which will provide the best and the quickest benefit to mankind. Right. I think there's a request here, is the last question.
No, just not to disappoint you, United States has 257 military satellites, India has about 8, Russia has about 110, China has about 200.
India has how many?
three, sorry, nine, but not totally dedicated.
Yes.
Totally dedicated only two.
I see.
So even in that race, and then our entire boundary is surrounded by our enemies. So 2 is not enough, 2000 would be probably not enough. So
Okay.
we have long way to go. That is my understanding of the.
Right on. So, gentlemen, there's been a very lively discussion. Unfortunately, we are talking space, and the unit there is, light years and so on and so forth, We cannot even imagine, mind-boggling. So, therefore, to compress it into 20 minutes is a difficult job. It's a tall order. However, we've tried our best, the three of us, to impart, to give you, share with you some of our ideas and thinking on this subject. But it's very important. And I think that there must be focus and there must be allocation of more money, and realistically to get us, much, much more ahead of where we are now. Not saying that to catch up money, to catch up with where Russia and America is, are. So therefore, we'll end here. And now, if you have any other questions to ask in terms of where do I reside, do I wear a blanket or something like that, that you can do over lunch. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank you, Mr. Mishra. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mishra. Thank you, Dr. Chakraborty. Well, space, as we all know, is infinite. Therefore, the discussions will also be tending towards infinite discussions. And we don't have that much time. Due to paucity of time, we stop here. But the discussions can continue offline over networking and so on.
One point that he made, a very significant, important point. He said, don't talk about allocation of money. Talk about investment. We don't have enough money to allocate.
Sure, sir.
I just tell you, just day before yesterday, I was in Bombay, invited for I don't say which, it is a cluster of investors, around 60 investors and high HNIs of Bombay and Ahmedabad sitting there. They were now counting how many billions of dollars they will be investing in next 10 years. That is the way that things are moving. It's moving in a breakneck speed in India. And you will probably see 300 plus satellites only for military application in another 10 years.
So these are the,
Well, thank you so much.
coming